As you know from the reviews on my channel and stuff I usually talk about in general, I'm a big anime fan. I go out, I try and watch all the shit that comes out. And one thing that usually I try to find in something is an interest in a emotional bond that I can have with an anime. And Sword Art Online, oh man, you could not go any farther than you did. It was something of beauty and I'm not going to say perfection, but as close as perfection as you can probably get within a 25 episode anime. Now in saying that, I do think it was a little overhyped. I don't think it deserves the hate it gets because of that overhypeness, but you know, that's just how things go. I personally thought it was great. So let's talk about it a little bit, you know, because that's what reviews are for. The plot goes as the main character, Kirito, goes into a MMORPG that has been released in Japan to like 10,000 people. So he goes in, you know, playing the game, doing his thing. He was a beta tester for the game. So he pretty much got the digs on this shit. He knew what he was doing. He was the man. But the one thing they didn't mention the beta test that they probably should have mentioned during this is, well, just to let you know, you can't log out. Oh, and by the way, this is whole headset, this is virtual reality. So, yeah, you're not allowed to be let out. That's great. So no logging out for you. You're pretty much stuck there. And also you come to find out that the creator, Kayaba Akihiko, comes on to tell that you are stuck there and you must face off with the world. You must defeat the game to get out of the game. So you must risk your lives to get out of the game, and if you die, you are dead. Yeah, I love being told that when I wake up and play a game. So, now I will say this plot line is a bit cheesy and kind of cliche, but the emotion that it packed into it through the episode, which is pretty much the first one, was very well done. It was something that really kept you on your toes and wanted you to eat it up. You want more after this. It was great. It was fantastic. Just that emotion it rise. It's like this whole panic and this fear of what's going on. Like, it's great. It's wonderful. So I'm gonna be cutting into a couple of different subjects for this. First, I'll go into pretty much like, well, I'll go into some more of the plot first before I cut into something else. So they find out this and they start going nuts, jumping off cliffs. They start committing suicide because they don't know what to do. And yeah, that's about it. Kirito, on the other hand, is excited by this. He loves the thought of this because, probably because he wants to commit his full self to something, and this is something that he felt he could do. Excuse me. So what he did is he decided to keep himself solo from everyone else, and that was after mostly a tragic accident when he tried to be with a group, and they pretty much ended up losing their lives, and he blames himself since he's the only one who came out alive, obviously. And after that, there's a big time, a 2-year time skip, and there's a bunch of other stuff that I'll go into. But for now, let's go into something else. Pretty much the action and how the pretty much how the action works. So pretty much the action is mostly, if you couldn't tell by the name, it's on swords. So yeah, you're gonna be using swords like the whole time, and part of me didn't really like this. When you think MMO, you think like, you know, like magic and healing and stuff. And while I do think the second arc improved this a lot, I think I just didn't think it was that great, but I will say, since people are very impatient and they wanted to appeal to something very high-paced and fast, pretty much fast-paced and a lot of action, I think the sword thing really worked. So in the end, it was actually a really good thing, and it just worked. It was really cool, and along with that, the animation was fucking fantastic, and just some of those fight scenes, while they were short, which I didn't really like, but you know, not everyone wants to stick around for 3 episodes for the power-up like Dragon Ball Z, but while I do think the fights were a little short, I do wish they brought them out and kept them out for a little bit longer. I do think they worked really well to the high pace, or fast pace, I'm sorry, action, and I think it really worked with the just to keep people on their toes, obviously, and make people think that they're getting a lot, because it like it goes by really fast. Like after that, you feel like you've been you feel like you got something for watching that. And you know, not everyone gets that from seeing, you know, power upping for a very long time and stuff like that. So I think it really worked for that, and the animation for it was amazingly well done, and it was really great. It was fantastic. Yeah, that was great. I'm sorry, I gotta I'm having all these thoughts now. It's like so great. Now going into the characters, I have a big issue with the characters, and not with the main ones, not with Kirito and Asuna. Sandwich-kun. No, not Sandwich-kun. I actually have a big issue with some of the minor characters, which are Klain, Silica, Lisbeth. And that's mostly because they didn't get a lot of screen time, which was really not very good at all. I was actually really disappointed with the amount of screen time these characters got. While Klain did get a okay amount, he didn't really get that much. Agiel also, or Agiel, I don't know how to say his name. We can add him into that too. He gets an okay amount, but again, not that much. About 2 episodes. Klain at least got like 3. But the main 2 I want to talk about are Silica and Lisbeth. These 2 are very great characters, very emotional, and they each got 1 episode each. And these episodes were really well done. They could show off the character and show what kind of purpose they have and what kind of character they are. And excuse me. They just didn't really build off these characters, which really it was the most disappointing thing of this series. These 2 characters were so built up. They were built up really, really well, and they were really great. I mean, I fell in love with both of them, but especially Lisbeth. Lisbeth in her episode, I fell in love with her. She was amazing. And if it weren't for the rest of the series, I would never like Asuna as much as Lisbeth. While Celica did have an okay episode, Lisbeth was it was a bit more emotional. So yeah, these 2, I mean, after their main episodes of being starred in, they pretty much got the boot. They were out. They were gone, which is really disappointing, because you built up these great characters and then that's it. They're gone. Like, okay, sure, whatever. Goodbye. I mean, Lisbeth and they both show up at the end of the arc, but it's over. So yeah, that was very bad, in my opinion. I think they could have done that a lot better. But I will say they made up with they really made up with Asuna and Kirito's relationship and romance, and god damn, it's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And I know a lot of people are gonna be hating me for this for some reason, but anyway, I'm just gonna go into it. I loved, and I will scream it out into the air, in the sea, in the sky, wherever the fuck you want me to put it. I loved the relationship between Asuna and Kirito. It was something very beautiful and magical, and it gave me like this emotional feeling of, you know, this deep love for it, and something that I would like to have in my life. And it's like, oh god, oh, it's breaking me right now. It's just something that was it was well done. Like they knew what they were doing with this. They took a couple episodes to show like how they felt. I mean, obviously they had this whole play fight going around, but you knew they were like, they want each other. They were all over each other. And just like the big moments for me were when they were living together, and just the happiness and just how they spent their lives together. Even though it was for a short time, it was something really magical, and something that a lot of animes never really have accomplished for me. It's just something that I would really want. Like something like that is something I would really want in my life, and it was something you know where I'm going with this, but I loved it. It brought me to tears. It was just something. It was something, and I loved it. It was great. That was the selling point for me of this anime. That was the thing that made me keep watching. The action, that was a side thing. You give me that romance, I'll be like, it was so good. It was so good. I ate it. Jesus, it was great. And it made a deep emotional impact on me. God damn, I loved it. God damn it. It was so great. Anyway. So, with that romance, that was pretty much the selling point. The action was great, the animation was great, but without that, it probably wouldn't be as great as it already is. So, that is the main thing I really wanted to go into. And, yeah, just that. I mean, if you like romance, fucking watch it and just let your feels be destroyed. I mean, I know this show has the biggest fandom in fucking history, and they go nuts over it, but man, it's good. I don't care what anyone says. You can hate on me all day long if you want. It was great. It was just inspiring. It was something inspirational, which was fucking great. But I'll stop fangirling, fanboying, whichever you want to say, whichever makes you happy. Yeah, that was the good part about season 1. I'm trying not to go into big spoilers because I want more people to watch this, even though it has the friggin' biggest hype ever, and I'm sure tons and tons of people have seen it already. I still want people to watch it. So, and for the ending, after this time-year skip, there were this 2-year time skip. They were pretty much at the end of the ropes for the dungeon, and Asuna had joined a group called the Blood Red White whatevers. I probably should look that up when I was planning this, but she was part of this, probably the biggest guild in the game, and they were working together with Kirito to beat the game, pretty much. And Kirito liked being a solo player. He was always on his own, but he had to pretty much start working with them to complete the game at this point, because once you reach like around floor 80 or something, those bosses fucking shove your ass down to the ground. Yeah, it was pretty great. Some of the boss battles, the bigger boss battles, they had just this amazing music, by the way, just crazy music that like struck your heart, and it's like, whoa, holy fuck, this is great. Which pretty much leads to the very end of the series, where I don't want to go into it too much, but they don't actually end up beating the game. But they do end up getting out. Well, most of them anyway. That mostly goes into the next season. Kayaba Akihiko actually turns out to be one of the players of the game, and offers Kirito a deal to face off with him in battle, and if he can win, he will automatically win the game, which I thought was pretty cool. I do think it was kind of disappointing to just end the game like that, but you know, I thought it was cool because it's already been 2 years, you might as well fucking go for it. And the way they did that was great. I say that about like everything in this show, but it was just something. And that was like, I really don't want to like spoil that ending, because it was something. But let's just say it turns out with Kirito waking up in a hospital, because you can't spend your lives there, obviously. I mean, your physical body is still like there, like in the real world, so you have to be able to deal with that. You can't just spend your life there, which I could think would be a viable option if not for that. So, he pretty much wakes up in the hospital. His body is like all fucked up because he hasn't been eating for 2 years. And he starts walking out of the hospital into the White Abyss, probably going after to find Asuna. Because Asuna is the best thing in the world. I really didn't say very much about her in this review, but I mean, both the main characters got amazing plot development. Character development, and they were just really well done for that. So, if you want an example, why don't you go watch it? But yeah, that is pretty much all I wanted to say for this arc. Sorry it was a bit long. I know the second one's probably not going to be this long. But that is about it. One more thing I would like to say is the opening for the first arc, Crossing, right? How did I forget that song? Oh well. The song is really good. Like, it's my favorite song of all time. That's how good it is. It's so great. Oh god, I just love so many things about this arc in general. And personally, it left a mark on me. It was great. As for a rating for this, I'm just gonna be a fucking fanboy and just go, I don't want to say 10. Let's go 9.999. That's about as far as we're getting right there. Because it was just amazing. I labeled all my points. I fanboyed my ass off. That's all you need to know, okay? So, there is a review of the first arc. I will go into the second arc and the second part, because I wanted to split this up into 2 parts. That's mainly what I had planned on doing, because if I kept the second arc in this review, it would probably not get as much love and detail and stuff. Because, while I did like the second arc, it was nowhere near as good as this arc. So, there you go. So, I hope you will stay tuned for the second arc review. It's probably going to go up right after this, but this is the main one I wanted to talk about. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I only talked about the good things, but I did talk about a few things that were a little disappointing with this, but yeah, I just hope you enjoyed, and I hope if you haven't seen it, I hope you go watch it, and yeah, that is about it. Hope you enjoyed. I know a lot of people have been requesting this, and I will see you in part 2. See you there.